Hello, everybody! Welcome to the fourth episode of the Wharfside Podcast.
Today, we'll be going over some rather personal and impersonal topics, including what would happen if you microwaved yourself, why so many people hate math, the importance of breaks, and the undisclosed discussion.
Join us. You must. We dare you.
Let's start out by discussing our what if question. What if you microwaved yourself?
Well, first of all, I think we should put a disclaimer for bloody and violent content. Because, if people just bloody content is not your thing, or if there's kids in the room, you should probably put on some headphones or just skip to the second segment because this is gonna get kind of gruesome. So just putting that out there.
Timestamps in the description, people.
Yeah. Okay. Microwaving yourself. Let's get it.
Yes. So,
okay.
There's a video actually.
Wait, what the? Of somebody microwaving themselves?
No.
Oh, I was like, what are you watching? Oh my god.
Okay. But there's a video by, I think it's Food Beast.
Oh.
But yeah, basically, no, it's by Meet Arnold. So this channel has a bunch of different things like what would happen if you did this. So they have one about microwaving yourself. So you can go watch that.
But continue listening to us.
So we're kind of going off of I'm gonna go off of what they said.
Okay. Story time. Okay, so how I thought of this question is that I had a friend from my dance studio, and when she was 4, she decided that her hamster was cold, so she put him in the microwave, and he just straight up exploded. And so here is a real life example of what's gonna happen if you microwave something that's alive. Obviously, I hope that you are not a hamster, and I hope that you're interested in the details of what happened. So the way microwaves work is that they emit the microwaves. The food absorbs that, and the waves causes the water molecules and the food to vibrate, and that's what heats up the food. And since a lot of you is water, 70% of you is water, and if all of those molecules are vibrating in you, I can understand why you would explode.
Yeah, you would, and your skin would also burn. Slowly and slowly, you would get your entire 100% of your body would be burnt, like a crisp.
Yum yum.
Oh no, we do not support cannibalism on this podcast. Yeah, that's the simplest thing. If you get 10th degree burn, that's not a thing. Entire body would be burnt, and yeah, your blood and your the water inside of you would start curdling, and then eventually it would burst.
Oh my
god. Short answer.
Yeah.
Unless the skin burns get to you first.
Oh yeah, but I think the way the microwaves work is that they heat the center of the object first, and then the heat dissipates out. So I think your internal organs would be fried first, and you wouldn't be able to see anything because the retinas in the back of your eyes would be burned. So I feel retinas. So I feel that would be pretty scary. Actually, I don't think you want to see what's going on though.
Oh my god, yeah. The burns on your hands and you exploding,
Oh my god. Well, it would hurt very, very, very much. Just imagine, the most pain you felt in your life is probably 100 times more painful than that, because literally your subcutaneous fat under your skin is melting, and your internal organs are frying.
Yeah, I think they get the point.
Well, I
Yeah.
actually have more details if we want to hear.
Oh my God, what other details do you have?
Well, first your like skin heats up and your retinas burn, and then your subcutaneous fat melts, and it hurts so much because your skin is where like most of your pain receptors are,
Yeah.
and your
The
eyeballs.
thermoreceptors be firing up, you know?
Yes, and your eyeballs would actually explode because there's so much
Wow.
pressure buildup, because like the water is turning to steam because it's getting heated
Oh
up so
yeah.
much.
Ours are basically like jello inside, you know?
Yeah, so like it has nowhere to go, so like your eyes just explode from the pressure. And and
Oh my
since
God.
the microwave cooks from inside out, your internal organs would rupture and like boil, and like you said, your blood would like curdle and your nerves would wither and die, which would first cause involuntary spasms in your muscles, but then you would fall into stillness because heat like denatures your proteins and you can't function anymore after your proteins are denatured. And like if you're wondering what that means, like denaturing is when your proteins they like unravel from their original shape, and like the shape to a protein is very, very vital. It determines
Their
how they
function.
yeah, it,
Campbell biology nailed like ingrained that into us. Structure determines function. 7 subsections on that. Oh my
but
gosh, yeah.
but back to you in the microwave.
Oh, by the way, someone has actually microwaved themselves. Like not themselves, but someone. Like
What the
someone
heck
killed their child,
are
like
they?
by putting them in a microwave.
You know, who would do that? Just because we're discussing this, don't you guys get any ideas? Do not ever put yourself, put
Oh yeah, please
anything
don't.
alive in the microwave. Not even like sticking your hand in. Because there was a story of this girl who like dried her hair in the microwave, but she died like half an hour later. And it was just her hair in the microwave for like a few seconds. It's that dangerous, guys.
Oh
Don't
gosh.
do anything. Just no. But after your nerves wither and die, well, your brain is like neurons, all neurons, so like you stop functioning,
Mm.
and it's either you stop functioning and like you die, or like everything gets burned and you die from shock.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what would happen if you microwaved yourself.
You know everything now.
Yeah.
Just don't
Yeah.
die. Don't die.
Wait, it's not the end. Anyway, let's move on to our next topic. So, this is a topic that is quite personal to me. Why do so many
Oh,
kids and just people in general, especially in America, hate math? So, I feel like there's a lot of reasons why people hate math, and a lot of people just like put it down to, oh, I'm not good at math. Like
yes.
my personal story, the big like first like really quick excerpt of my life. I was always decent at math. Like I was above average in math. But then so I was put in the advanced program, right, in second grade.
Yeah.
So and that was fine. I was still keeping up with like math. I was still above average in my class still. But
Yeah.
then I am a female. Males really put me down because like I don't know why, but I don't know if I intimidated them because I got questions right and they didn't. But like I was very susceptible. I think it was just my personality back then. I was very susceptible. I was very susceptible to like bullying and like what other people said about me. So
Oh,
so I mean that kind of goes to like women in STEM. That's a lot of the reasons why they don't go into STEM fields because they're put down by others.
so sad.
Yeah. So I was put down a lot. And then there's also like the pressure, I think, just in general, because math has this feeling of like there's one right answer, and if you don't get it, you're just wrong. Being
Right.
wrong in society is kind of shunned too. Like you can't be wrong, right? I think
Yeah.
in all cultures, like not in all, some families are more inviting to like making mistakes, and people these days are trying to like encourage that, you know? Like I think when you're that young, like in second grade, like you don't really think of it that way. You're wrong, and people will make fun of you if you are wrong, right? And it's not like
Yeah.
English, in which you have creativity. There's no wrong answer. There's just better ways of saying things, you know?
It makes you feel good when the teacher is just like, there's no wrong answer, guys. Just write whatever you like.
Yeah. English is about like writing what you want to say in a better way. Like you can always improve your writing. And there are many there are many answers that are all correct. Like they're all the best they can be, but they're different styles, right? And you get to pick what you like to do, you know?
Yeah.
But math is math. Like there's one right answer. There's no other answer unless like there's a positive and negative answer, but you have to list both of them anyways. That's the right answer. You know?
Oh my God. Yeah, there are so many like rules and it just makes it feel very static and just like people are put into a box sort of. I think that like fixed environment sort of invites people's fixed mindsets. Math is the sort of thing where you have to get a lot of things wrong before you can get it right. And this
Yeah.
applies to all things, but I think it's especially hard in math because you don't get like the point of the question unless you get it exactly right. So there's like less reward for like the small in between steps. So it's easy to get discouraged and like lose sight of the bigger picture and get like all caught up in the little details like, oh, I forgot to write the negative sign. And then jump right into, oh, I'm bad at math. Oh, I hate math.
Yeah, it's very easy to go into that cycle. And I feel like what you were saying about the fixed mindset is like very, very true. Because math already has that feel about it,
Yeah.
being fixed. But the beauty of math is that it has so many applications, but especially in America, public schools fail to like show how important math is in the real world because all is this plus this equals this, and there is this theorem and that postulate, and we do not. I think for me, it was always easier in geometry because you could see what was going on. You could see, like, oh, that's how bridges are built by using these theorems. There's an application to
Yeah.
this. There's a step-by-step process that goes on, and math is used to build this thing. So it's easier for you to imagine that, but there are things. So I feel like people who do not have such a great relationship with math always do better in geometry. I've seen that actually. I don't think all people, but I think most of the ones that I've seen that have struggled with math find it better in geometry, other than the fact that you have to memorize a bunch of theorems.
The memorization is also another part that like turns people off.
Yeah. And back to the fixed mindset. That's what I was going to go for. Math competitions are actually pretty fun because the problems that they give is not like, okay, use these theorems, state which theorems you're using to figure out this very black and white problem. Like you have a circle, find the area. No, you have to use the skills that you've learned, the strategies you've learned, and actually apply it to a problem. And that is what we get to see in science. Like, you have a problem. Like you have, I don't know, climate change. And this is a small part of climate change. Now let's understand it. And by understanding what is wrong, you get to fix the problem. Like you have a process to it. But in public schools, they teach you that there is this one way to do a problem and there's no other way to do it. And it's so annoying because you find it easier, a faster way to do it. And the teacher's like, you didn't do it my way. Take off 2 points for that out of the 3 points because I got the right answer, but I didn't use your way. As long as my way would work for every type of problem that there is in that specific thing, as long as it works, it's not like it's only I made a mistake in my method. Um, as long as the method works, they should allow us to use the method. They should allow us to know what is going on. They should allow us to prove the theorem ourselves, work through that ourselves. And if it's challenging, they should encourage us to ask questions from a very young age. And like when people make fun of us for asking questions, we should discourage that attitude. But I have not seen it discouraging of like the shame attitude, shaming
Yeah.
others.
Yeah, like I remember in like elementary school when I was sometimes really scared to ask questions in math because like sometimes when I ask like this is in like air quotes like stupid questions that like seems like something very obvious, people would just stare at you like are what are you saying? How could you not understand this? And like they don't even say it outright, but I think
They
it's
just glare at
yeah,
you.
yeah, and I think it's that when it's at that young age, I think it's that non-verbal
Mm-hmm.
like shame that gets at you more because like you're more used to just like arguing and yelling at people and suddenly no one say anything. It's just this like shameful silence and you're just like what am I supposed to say? I have nothing to retaliate because no one is actually like verbally attacking me and like I don't know what I'm supposed to do and it's just that.
Yeah, because you can't tell the teacher that, oh, someone was glaring at me. You can make sure that no one, like when you ask a question, like quote unquote stupid question, you can make sure that no one is saying that it's stupid to your face because it's in a classroom environment and
Yeah.
they're the one talking, right? Teacher. So they'll like shut the person down who's trying to like make fun of you. But if
Right.
it's a glare, they can't just say stop looking at her. Like that doesn't work. That we've already covered like the fear of public embarrassment really causing math anxiety, you know.
Yeah.
But then there's also things like the pressure of of time limits on tests because there are in other subjects like say science, there is a project that you work on often, trying to grow a plant at home or making
Yeah.
a diagram of this process that you learned about. Or in English, you have to write an essay. But for these things, you have time. You research, you write it, write the report. You get all of this information and you have the time. Math, there's not that many opportunities to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a test, and a lot of people get really freaked out about time limits and getting it
Yeah.
done. I understand that. Yeah. That's
It's
another thing
really,
that contributes to math anxiety.
yeah, it's really stressful. And like again, earlier about how you were saying like how teachers don't really accept your way of doing stuff even though it might be totally valid. You know, the tests in the public schools I've been in, they're all so focused on like the little details and it just like stresses me out and I always like try to check my work, but there's
Mm-hmm.
so many details and you're like super stressed, so like you're more likely to make mistakes and it's just and after you see like so many bad grades like all in a row then you get discouraged and I think people don't really get out of being discouraged because in the
Mm-hmm.
US like almost anybody you talk to would somewhat agree with you if you said that you disliked math. They like relate with you, they like sympathize with you and they would like complain with you, but like that doesn't help you get better at math and it doesn't show you that you have the potential to get better. It just shows you that it's socially valid to dislike math. And, we all like being or, doing what other people are doing. And if the norm is to hate math, well, I'll just hate it too. It doesn't, on the surface, it doesn't seem like it's hurting me. I get to publicly hate what I hate and other
Yeah.
people hate it too, so
Yeah. And about that like societal norm, I feel like, especially if you have older siblings or something, I don't, but I feel maybe that's true. I don't know. If
it
someone in
is
your family,
it
if,
I
if someone in your family dislikes math and they express that to you before you even start learning more complex math. Like, oh my God, algebra was so hard for me when I was in middle school. You know, then you'll go to middle school and you'll take algebra with that mindset of, oh my gosh, this is going to be so hard. And then you won't even try because you're like, I'm already going to fail. So why even try? You have that
Yeah.
attitude. I had that towards physics. My mom loved math and she really tried to teach me that in when I was younger. But then second grade happened, and then there's also in second grade influence on teachers from teachers. Like, teacher hated math in second grade, so she
Oh.
kind of put that mindset on me. Second grade's like my prime example. That shaped my understanding of math for my entire elementary school career. You know, I hated math all through, and now I feel like after sixth grade too, I'm rethinking just because I figured out that I liked science in sixth grade because I hated science too, all through elementary school. And now look at me. We're literally talking about science podcasts. Like we're running a podcast at half the time talking about science. I'm trying to open my mind to like learning math again, but I'm actually enjoying it. And though it's not working out to the best of my ability, I figured out how to like physics because I thought I knew it was gonna be. I had the preset mindset that it was gonna be so hard, but it wasn't. I'm finally understanding it. So
Yeah, I feel like the whole thing of thinking you're bad at math or just hating it in general and then not trying hard because you hate it just sort of makes it a whole self-fulfilling prophecy. Because, like, let's say you don't like math and you don't like it because you're bad at it, then obviously you're not going to go do things you're bad at and make yourself feel bad. So you're not going to
mm,
improve your math. And well, now you're actually bad at math, and that just makes you hate it more. And I feel like people need to get out of this cycle, and it's
yeah.
hard. Oftentimes it takes the help from other people or just and it might like come very late in like their school career or whatever. But give math a
Mhm.
chance, people. You know,
Exactly.
I saw a quote from a math major and like they said that the American education system desperately fails to show students any of the artistic, rhetoric, and interesting details of math. You know, you might not be
Mm.
bad at math because it's your fault. It might just be because you're just exposed to this tedious side of math that just looks like crunching numbers. And you know, there's a lot more interesting things out there.
Yeah, definitely. I also think, yeah, there is an art to math. It sounds so funny, but there's AOPS. AOPS is literally called Art of Problem Solving, and it's a
Yeah.
math website. There's a process to it. Also, I feel like people should know the difference between math anxiety and just hating math. People just
Oh.
um especially when they're younger, like they know the word hate. They don't really know the word anxiety. They're saying, "Oh, I can't learn this right. I'm not able to learn this. I am confused. I hate it." Everyone had that process to anything they couldn't get on the first try when they were younger, right? If you even like whatever age you are, I feel like you might still have that slow process of thinking. Uh, I definitely do with some things. Um, but anxiety is an unusual, not unusual, it's very normal to have anxiety, but like it's unusual. It's an unusual feeling towards a certain thing, right? It is feeling like you cannot deal with something. And like anxiety often causes panic, right? And
Right.
a lot of people, I'm taking anxiety, like actual anxiety as an example. If someone has a panic attack, they will get anxious to have another panic attack. And that causes that cycle that you were talking about. Very similar. Like you
Oh.
have a panic attack and then you get over it, but then you get anxious that you're going to have another panic attack in a similar situation. So then you avoid those situations, right? So if you take math as the panic attack, you do math, it was terrible for that example in that situation. So you avoid it, and then you just avoid all math and all of it. So you see, it's anxiety. It's not that if you actually, because you can be really great in math, but also hate it at the same time, just because it's not your thing, and that's fine. You don't have to
Yeah.
do it for a career, but make a difference between hating it and just being like anxious about it. And symptoms of math anxiety, according to oxfordlearning.com/what is math anxiety. So there's some symptoms of math anxiety, including unusual nervousness when doing or thinking about math and passive behavior towards it, and a feeling of being alone when you are doing math, a feeling of permanency that this is never going to end, and a lack of confidence when approaching it. Also, panic during math tests or when being called on to answer questions in math class. So these are all symptoms of math anxiety. Hating it is
Oh.
something else.
Yeah, I think the lack of confidence one is a big one. Like
Mhm.
people's confidence, self-confidence is very fragile. Like everything influences it and it's like going up and down like many times throughout the day. And and I feel like that's very common in all aspects of life. I think it might be a larger wake up call to, people need to find their self confidence and not be afraid of failing and being bad at things. Because, I mean, it's natural to shy away from things that you're not good at to like protect yourself. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important for us to learn where that response is excessive and when it's okay to try and fail because you have to fail many times before you can succeed. And sometimes it takes the support of other people. So don't be afraid to ask your math teacher for help. I bet if you're in
Yeah.
like high school or like middle school where like the math teacher is just like teaching math, like they actually like math, I bet they're very willing to help you out.
Yeah. And even if you don't have a great teacher, like one of my algebra teachers had a degree in French. That was dumb. Now she teaches English. It was to correct our grammar and our math answers. Like, what? Anyway, how to fix math anxiety? How to help about all of this?
We're not just gonna throw a problem at you. We're gonna be part of the solution.
Yeah. One of the best things about math is that it is problem solving. Uh, it might seem very, very boring in the beginning, especially in elementary school, and all you're doing is like adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, To focus on the problem solving aspect, like questions like, what digit is the most frequent between the numbers 1 and 1000? Like that makes you think, right?
Oh,
Um,
that one's cool. I don't know.
it's one. Yeah. All of them are same between 1 and 999, but then 1000.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so stuff like that, like problem solving. You have to take and if your math teacher isn't great, what I was getting at earlier is that there are a lot of math websites online and wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful videos on YouTube. And if your parents have blocked YouTube on your laptop, well, then just go on aops.com.
Well, I bet they would let you go on YouTube to learn math. I bet they would let you in an instant. Oh my God, my
Yeah.
child is proactively learning math. I can't believe it. I can die with no regrets.
Yeah, because if you can't like afford a math tutor or you don't have the time at the moment to like go to classes and stuff, then there are a lot of opportunity like channels and stuff. I recommend
Yeah.
Organic Chemistry Tutor. He does more math videos than he does organic chemistry, and that's so odd. It's good. He does everything from pre-algebra to like college level maths, calculus, that stuff.
We have
Yeah.
no idea, you guys. We're just incoming freshmen of high school.
Yeah. Of
We don't
course.
know what you guys do up there in your dorms eating, cheese pizza at 4 a.m.
Oh my god! Imagine. Okay.
If you're watching at 4 a.m., please go sleep.
Or wake up. Some people wake up at the time.
But if you're up at 4 a.m., do productive work. Don't watch
Yes.
YouTube. What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing with your life?
Well,
If you're
speaking
sad
of
and
this,
depressed, I recommend you seek help. But yeah.
well,
Anyway.
about productiveness, let's get into the productivity corner. Today,
Yes.
yay! Today, we'll be taking a more self-care approach to this segment to talk about the importance of taking breaks.
So, why are breaks so important? I feel like this entire episode is about self care. Like, we're trying to address math anxiety, and try to tell people how to fix it.
Yeah,
It's all microwaving yourself. Don't microwave yourself. That's also self care.
you just have one more way to avoid death. How nice is that?
Yeah, of course. Anyway, why are breaks so important? I feel like there are three main reasons for me, at least. I can state my three main reasons.
Okay.
Reason number one, it gives your brain a chance to refresh. Reason number two, it makes sure you do not burn out so quickly, Number three, makes sure that you remember to have fun, right?
Yeah, because, you're not just living life for your work. And I think the good mindset to have about breaks isn't that, breaks are some sort of, burden. Ugh, I have to take a break. Ugh, I'm taking away from my productivity. Your
I feel like
break,
a lot of people, if they listen in on our conversation, they're flipped. Like they're like, "Oh, I have to go work." I feel like we should make this both ways, But I think this is more for really productive people. And when you have a deadline to something, when you have something you're working towards and you're cramming, remember to take breaks. And this is why. Continue.
yeah. I was saying that a good mindset to have, how professional athletes they have a professional responsibility to take care of their bodies because that's what they use for their job. And if you are using your mind for your job or just for school in general, and if you want to do well, then it comes with the responsibility of taking care of it, so you need to take those breaks. And like you said,
Yeah.
if you're cramming for a test or just having this really tight project deadline, you're probably going to have better performance if you just take breaks, even just mini breaks, like just a few minutes, every 2 hours or so, just get up from your desk. Sitting a lot isn't that good for you either. These days we're all hunched over our computers at our desk, and it's really important to get in movement breaks to
Yeah.
help with your physical health.
That's a great way of putting it, by the way. I was just gonna say, how your mind is what you use for your work, just like professional athletes use your body. That's a great analogy. I love that.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank
And I
you. Yeah, you have to take care of what is taking care of you, if that sort of makes sense.
that's a great way of putting it. Your brain is taking care of your money, you're using your brain to take care of your body. So if you want to take care
Yeah.
of yourself, you absolutely take care of your brain. And I feel like we should also make a thing to say that breaks also mean that yes, you should take breaks between studying. It depends how long you can study for without running out. You have to get to a point where you can study for very long periods of time. But if you suddenly just start studying for 4 hours in a row, then you will get tired quite quickly. You'll burn out
Yeah.
much more quickly. But if you slowly increase that, like Karma Medic on YouTube, he's studying for 4 hours straight. I don't know how he does it, but he does. Anyway, yeah, and he's in medical school and he has a lot of practice.
It comes with practice. Taking breaks is sort of like a habit, and So it comes with practice. It's not gonna be easy at first, and like you might, and like when you take a break, you might get like sidetracked and want to go back to your work. But like then that sort of goes into like productivity tips, like just getting started. But like
Yeah.
it's all practice.
Yeah. And for people like you and me who like see these productivity YouTubers doing all these things, you feel like you're not doing enough. And so you discourage
Uh,
to take breaks. For people like us, I feel like it's really important, as you said. But I was also gonna say, remember to take breaks like in between studying, but also remember to take day long breaks or just go on vacation. Even if it's like during the pandemic and you just stay home, do nothing, like focus on your hobbies that are outside of academics and work related things for at least for like a
yeah,
day or two, just get away from all of that. It gives your entire body a chance to refresh, you know,
yeah,
go on a road trip with your family, day road trips, just day trips, or just hang out, read a book for a day. No, maybe not the entire time, but do things that you've not been getting to do, like random housework that you've been putting off. Like it's not using your brain, giving your brain a chance to refresh, but you also feel productive at the same time. You're doing getting something done.
yeah. And taking a break and getting that refresh, oftentimes that helps you like feel more motivated when you get
Hmm.
back. And so maybe if you were procrastinating on your work before and no matter what you did, you just couldn't get yourself to do some work, maybe you could just take a break and see how that goes for you. There was actually a study that showed that people got more motivated when they took a break. And also, if you just work for a really long time, then probably at towards the end of the day you're gonna like crash. And
Hmm.
and and since when you crash you can't really do anything, so that's sort of like an unintentional break and you might feel bad for those kind of breaks because you're probably planning to do other stuff. So if you
Yeah.
plan your breaks, it will make you feel better. And it will prevent you
Definitely.
from having to take really long, like unintentional breaks that were just like you crashing from overworking yourself.
Definitely. Um, and so we kind of covered the refreshing and not burning out parts of the importance of breaks. But
And the physical health.
yeah, and the physical aspects. Um, there's another thing that if your hobbies or what you focus on are like what you work on most of the time, things like if you're really into, I don't know, maybe your hobby is like a sport, but your main extracurricular is that sport too. That that sport can become more of a job than a hobby, um, and makes it less
Oh,
fun. We both like love biology, but sometimes when we focus too much on getting it done rather than enjoying the process, we kind of lose the fun aspect of it. So another thing is that breaks remind you to have fun while doing the things,
yeah.
right? It's not about getting it done at the end of the day. It's about loving what you do. Uh, why am I saying this? I make this mistake so many times though, but um yeah, you have to make sure that your hobby or what you're working on doesn't become so much of a job, even if it is actually your job. Um your hobbies should not become tedious in a way.
Yeah, that just sort of defeats the purpose of a hobby.
Exactly.
Yeah, so basically, if you wanna be more productive and increase your performance, you kind of gotta take a sort of counterintuitive approach, but it's actually not counterintuitive because that's Because taking breaks is sort of part of being productive, as weird as that sounds. Because
Yeah.
if you want to sustain yourself for the long term, you gotta take care of your brain and your health.
hmm Yeah. So that was productivity corner for this episode.
Yes.
Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, what color should we dye our hair?
Uh,
What color would you dye your hair?
I've actually never really considered this question, but obviously I have to prepare for the episode. So I thought about it, and I was thinking that I wouldn't really change my hair color that much if I were to dye my hair. It would just be something that sort of something like unsuspecting, just sort of blends in there.
Yeah.
I have black hair, so I think I would dye it some sort of dark color, and I wouldn't dye the whole, like all of my hair.
Mm.
I think I just get like highlights or just like the tips.
Would
I
you
think,
get brown highlights? That would look good in your hair, I think. That would look so pretty, like in the bottom. Because you
oh,
have black hair, it would look so pretty. Brown highlights. Light brown.
oh,
If you
I
don't want
would,
anything like too standoffish, you know?
yeah, I was thinking maybe like burgundy, like the dark,
Yeah.
like those look really nice.
Yeah. This is
And
such a
it's
bad question for like a podcast because they don't know how we look. So,
oh well, just imagine you're like just black hair. I bet you've seen black hair. Just imagine it with like burgundy highlights and like my hair is long, so
yeah.
like it's like to my waist.
It's
Wow.
that long
Yeah.
now? By the way,
Yeah.
we have not seen each other in a year, like more than a year and a half now. So this is like, I don't know how long her hair is.
Well, yeah.
I would get if it's more permanent. I think I would also get like dark red, maroon, burgundy highlights, or
Yes.
just light brown highlights. But I feel I've always wanted to dye my hair like a really bold color. At least not like the
Oh.
entire thing, but like either the tips or just like the streak. Um,
Oh,
there's like a
streak.
fashion. There's a fashion to do like make like a few like two bunches of hair in like the front of your hair like blonde. It's like
Oh, like just
especially in
like
like the aesthetic world. But I wouldn't do that. I'm kind of thinking like a little bit farther on my head. I also have black hair, but my hair is a little bit below my shoulders. I'm gonna cut it like an inch soon, but
yes.
it's shoulder length hair.
You
It's
guys
also
know
black
so
hair.
much about us now.
Yeah, you guys can basically like tell us apart from the rest of the world at this point. Yeah, just look up two high school, two freshmen with black hair. You'll get us right away. You know.
100%. Well, this is actually a trick question. I don't think any of our pictures are on the internet.
I have no pictures of myself on the internet. Yeah. Now you have even more information about me. This does not give any more information. But
Well, no, just search up coffee and macaron, and we'll be right there with you.
of course, we'll be right there with you. Yeah, anyway, so I was gonna like get something more permanent, but I feel like when my mom is not letting me dye my hair in high school. So annoying. It's okay. Right when I graduate high school and I have my money to dye my hair, I will dye either the tips or like a streak of my hair, either like red or purple, because my purple is my favorite color. My wall is purple. I'm giving more information away, but it's okay. Anyway, yeah, that's what I would dye my hair. Tell us what you think we should like. What colors would you dye your hair? You know, in the comments below.
We finally are actually saying something about that. But like, I feel like, about like the bold colors, I feel like if I
Mm.
wanted to say a bold statement with my hair, I would more cut it. I think
Oh.
like a haircut would be my more of my way of expressing like stuff with my hair. I've never really thought of like color, but like yeah.
I do both. I want to cut my hair really short once. Yeah.
Oh, just take some scissors, man.
Yeah. But I'd probably get something of an undercut in a way, but um there's some K-pop stars that have the haircut that I want. They have an undercut here, but they have pretty long hair over here, so I can like tie my hair here too. If I let my hair go, I'll still look like I have longer hair, but I have this less hair because this part's like cut. So yeah,
Oh,
undercut. Look it up, people. But I'll still have long hair at the top, so I'll still have like the streak. So I'll have an even bolder haircut.
I think that would look awesome. I think that would make you look very cool. Just get like a leather jacket and a
Oh,
motorcycle.
oh my god! Just imagine me, a bio nerd, at 14 years old with a freaking like on a motorcycle, leather jacket, undercut, long hair in a ponytail, the red streak in the back, just zooming across the freeway. And
Bro,
the people who know us or are watching, like listening to this right now, are gonna be so like laughing. Like, imagine that's like so not me. The haircut would be me, but like everything else.
no, get those like get like a baggy like black like throw on like those like button up shirts and like get like some like nice black leggings and get some like boots and get a motorcycle and break the law with driving without a driver's license. If I see a newspaper that says 14-year-old girl caught by police on motorcycle, I'll know immediately who it is.
My driver's license last week. Oh my god, that song is stuck in my head now.
Oh, what
Driver's
song?
License by Olivia Rodrigo. Olivia Rodrigo, don't sue me. I just sang your song. I guess it's probably so annoying. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, that was our discussion on what color you should dye your hair, or what we should dye our hair.
It was actually more of a discussion of who Macaron's alter ego should be.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna come back to high school become a completely different person,
We should Photoshop a macaron looking all swag and put it on the backdrop.
I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be on the thumbnail.
Yes, sir! Beautiful! Yes. Well, I think that was a very fun episode covering.
I think so too.
Yes! We had a lot of relatable topics. I bet you all could relate to the hating mask. We don't say the M word here. Oh, kidding. Obviously, we always include our pinch of crazy. Thanks for listening if you've made it this far.
Yes. We hope you join us next time. But until then, have a good life and don't die.
Don't get hit by a motorcycle driven by a
Ford. Yourself.
Yeah, no, don't get hit by a motorcycle driven by a 14-year-old girl.
Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, don't die. Have a good life, all that good stuff. Bye.